In October of 2025, I received the diagnosis of colon cancer. Anyone who's gone through a cancer journey, you think of automatic, immediate death, and that's how I felt. Like when they gave me that diagnosis, anesthesia, I was coming out of the anesthesia, and I remember looking at this nurse next to me, so beautiful, like that. And she's like, you're so beautiful too. And she hugs me and she squeezes me tight. And she whispers in my ear and she was like, you're gonna be okay. And she's like, do not let them let you leave this hospital without removing that thing outside of you. Life is a gift. I see life, like I was telling you, like now I'll go in my backyard and just sit for hours looking at the wind blow, looking at birds. Like it's like every moment matters, every moment counts, because I realize in a moment my life could have been taken away.
Carmel, an alumna of North Miami Senior High School, shares a powerful story of resilience, faith, and purpose. From a clinical scientist working behind the microscope to a nurse called to touch lives, her journey took an unexpected turn when colon cancer knocked on her door at 42. Faced with her own mortality, she refused to let misdiagnosis and fear define her outcome. Today, she's a survivor, a business owner, and a voice for those who need to hear that they are not alone.
So you had a chance to see behind the microscope.
Yes.
And now you are in the medical field. Based on your research and what you understand about colon cancer, what causes that?
Different factors. Everybody's different. You can go from being healthy, like you guys look athletic, like you're fit, and you probably eat well. And there's people that's diagnosed with stage 4, terminal.
Welcome to Jules Legacy Enterprise Productions. This is your home for powerful stories and game-changing insights. This segment, Conversation with a Pioneer, highlights the success stories of North Miami Senior High School pioneers and guests who just might change your life forever. Each episode brings fresh energy and unexpected experience. So stay tuned, because you never know who's next to light your path. Today, we have with us a very special guest, Carmel. She is a wonderful mother. I had to say that because that goes above and beyond. She is also a clinical scientist, a nurse, a business owner who's also an entrepreneur of Savon Lakai. She is here to share her journey, and also this month, March, is Colorectal Cancer Awareness Month. She will share her journey and help those to raise awareness. Welcome.
Thank you.
Hey, Carmel, how you doing?
Nice introduction. I like that. Bravo. Thank you for having me.
Carmel,
Yeah.
this is Colorectal Cancer Awareness Month. I was not aware of that.
Yeah.
Many people probably don't even know that. Can you touch base on the importance of that?
The importance of it for me is because it hit my door, right? So in October of 2025, I received the diagnosis of colon cancer. And it literally took my breath away. Like, it was like being faced with your mortality, because when you think of cancer, you think of anyone who's gone through a cancer journey, you think of automatic, immediate death. And that's how I felt. Like when they gave me that diagnosis, I felt like, oh my God, I have a 6-year-old. Like, I want her mom. I want to be here. Like, God, like, what is happening? This is not, I felt like I was having an out-of-body experience. So for me, I wasn't aware of colorectal cancer. Like, I knew, like, Chadwick Boseman, he had it. Like, I didn't even know which one he had. Like, I knew he died of cancer, but I never in my mind, because when we think of colorectal, we think of an old man's disease. That's the mindset that we have. It's when you get older. It's hitting a lot of young people. Now the statistic is, people under the age of 50 are dying. It's like the number one killer, actually, of people under the age of 50. I was diagnosed in 42. But there are people who are 18, 20, 25, 20 that are being diagnosed with this disease. When it hit my door, that's when I started looking into it, because I knew nothing about colorectal cancer. We know about breast cancer, we know about lung cancer, but no one really knows about colorectal cancer. So, yeah.
You mentioned it hit your door. How did you come to terms with it actually hitting your door?
I'm still trying to come to terms with it, actually. It's not even been 5 months yet. Like I said, everything happened so quickly. Let me even go back, like the signs and symptoms, because oftentimes these are signs and symptoms that we may overlook, and we think it could potentially be something. So in June of 2025, my first sign was bloody stool. But I remember telling my mom this. I was like, Mom, I see blood in my stool. And because that's never happened to me before. And she was like, okay, it could be hemorrhoids, pay attention to it. But then it didn't happen again. So I didn't really get alarmed, because when she said hemorrhoid, I'm like, okay, yeah, because I know I have issues with constipation and stuff like that. That was the first sign, to be honest with you. But at that time, I didn't think that. I didn't think cancer. I didn't think colon cancer. July, it happened again. I had the bloody stool. And then I noticed the irregular shaped stool. And as me being a science person in medicine, like, I will go to the web and research. And so I'm like, okay, bloody stool, irregular shaped stool, pencil shape. Immediately when I saw cancer, I knew in my spirit, like, bruh, this is cancer. I felt it. Like, I don't know how to explain it to you. I just knew it, but I didn't want to pay attention to it. So I brushed it. I was like, man, it can't be. Like, God is, that's not going to happen to me. It's not going to hit me. I see what the web is saying, but this is not going to be me. So when I told my mom about the blood the second time, she was like, no, you need to go to the hospital. So, go to your doctor. Went to my doctor. Once again, they did an exam. Hemorrhoids, keep an eye on it, eat more fiber, drink more water. And me, I've always had anemia since a kid. So I didn't even know anemia was like a sign too. So anemia, being extra fatigued, I was stressed. I had just started as a new grad nurse in the emergency room. So I was under a lot of stress. Stress is another sign as well. But once again, when I saw that, I didn't pay attention to it. But the second time when the blood happened, I was like, all right, let me go to the doctor. Misdiagnosed. They were like hemorrhoids, blah, blah, blah. Followed up with my physician again because it didn't sit well with me. So she gave me a referral to see a GI doctor. Because I was so stressed and I didn't want to pay attention to the signs, I missed that appointment. And I felt like, and that's why in some of my videos, if you watch on IG, I feel guilty. I felt shame. I felt guilty. I'm like, man, if I would have only paid attention, if I would have only not missed that appointment. And I ended up missing that appointment because I was just so tired working the ED. And by the time I rescheduled, it was in September of 2025. So that's months, right? So at this time, this tumor is growing, not even knowing there's a tumor growing in my body. So I missed that appointment, but in September, like at that point, I had stopped eating. I couldn't eat anything that touched my stomach, hurt. I stopped eating, I stopped losing weight. So unexpected weight loss is another sign. Pain, abdominal pain when you eat, discomfort, stomach discomfort, that's a sign as well. And so I stopped eating, literally stopped eating. I started losing weight. Anything, like I said, touched my stomach, it would hurt me so badly. So September of 2025, I remember I put my daughter to bed and I felt a sharp pain. If any woman has ever been pregnant, contraction pain, that was worse than that, of the pain that I felt. It literally took my breath away. Like I remember being hunched over the bed and I'm like crying because that pain hit me so hard. And I'm like, man, I'm going to the emergency room. End up going to the emergency room, was there for hours, and once again, misdiagnosed. You're constipated, drink more water, eat more blueberries, work out, take Miralax. They did do a CT, but they did a CT without contrast. When you have contrast, you're able to see a lot more into your body. So when I went in, they did a CAT scan, but they didn't do it with contrast to see more in depth of what was going on. So what they saw was just, oh, you're backed up, like you have a lot of poop, but they didn't go and investigate it even more, right? So that was in October, but I mean in September, I'm like, man, like I know he's telling me this, but I feel like this, it can't be that, but hey, he's a medical professional. I'm gonna take it. I'm gonna take his referral, drink more water, eat more berries, work out. I changed my diet completely. I started eating more fruit, eating more fiber. It didn't alleviate the pain. I was still having stomach discomfort. I was taking like all kind of stuff for like Peps, like different type of medication to alleviate the pain. I would talk to other colleague nurses like, listen, I'm having these signs and symptoms. They'll be like, okay, we're trying to diagnose. Like, okay, maybe it's IBS, maybe, it's acid in your, like we're trying to diagnose, like this is what it is. Not ever thinking that cancer could have been a potential cause or that a tumor could have been there. Never thinking that. October comes, I'm working in the emergency room and I'm working. And like I said, I stopped eating. I bought a smoothie. I could not even, just a sip of it, I could not even finish the whole thing. I couldn't eat. I remember going to the pharmacy on my break, get more medication, nothing. helped. And I remember working, I told my charge nurse, I said, listen, I don't feel good. I cannot even go to these patients' room. I'm sitting on a chair. I'm hunched over like this. I can't work. I'm like, I'm going to admit myself to this emergency. I'm going to admit myself. And I really believe it was the Holy. Y'all going to talk about me talking about Jesus and God all day? Yeah, it's Jesus, Jesus, Jesus for me. When you're faced with your mortality, it's Jesus, Jesus, Jesus. So I really believe it was the Holy Spirit that really made me stay in that emergency room, because I was going to wait. I was going to wait till Monday. I was going to wait. I'm like, okay, I don't want to miss work. I'm going to wait till my off day on Monday, and I'm going to talk to my doctor again. Holy Spirit was like, no, you're not. You're going to admit yourself right now. I remember telling my charge nurse, you're going to have to give my patients away. I went, I clocked out, went to them, because it was the same emergency room, went to registration. So everything happened so quickly. It was like an urgency. Like, I just felt in my spirit, it was like an urgency. Went in, they did my blood work, did my labs, EKG, all these things. And here I am, I'm joking, because I still have my scrubs. So I know the doctors, I'm talking to everybody, I'm joking with them. And as I'm talking to one of the doctors and joking with one of the doctors, the actual doctor that was my doctor treating me in the ER, he was like, hey, I need you to come take a look at this. And I'm like, okay. So he's showing me, because at that point I already had went and got my scans again. And he said, look, he said, your bowels are not moving. Everything is stuck. Everything you've eaten, every pill, and I could see every pill was just stuck in my stomach. Like, nothing was moving anywhere. My bowels literally stopped working. Like, nothing was moving. And he's like, we're going to have to keep you. You're not going home. We're going to have to keep you. We're going to give you some antibiotics, but we're going to have to keep you. And I'm like, okay. I'm like, all right, as long as you get to the bottom of why I'm having this pain. So as they're preparing my room, I would say this lady was like an angel. I don't know. But this lady came in around midnight into my room. I'm still in the ER waiting for them to prepare my room upstairs. And she comes in and she's like, I remember everybody on my surgical team. I remember but this lady, I don't know where she came from. I cannot remember this lady. I remember she came in, she said, Carmel, and I said yes, because at that time I was on like a pain medication because the pain was so bad. She was like, this was around midnight, and she came into my room and she was like, I'm so-and-so, and I'm one of the doctors, I'm from the GI team. We looked at your scans again, and we saw a shadow, and we don't know what it is, but we need to investigate it a little more. I said, okay. And she said, okay, we're gonna schedule you for a colonoscopy in the morning. I said, okay. Not thinking nothing, no fear. I wasn't afraid or nothing, because I'm not thinking they're gonna tell me cancer. Like, I'm not thinking that. Anyway, everything, like I said, happened so quickly. The next day, colonoscopy. After my colonoscopy, I remember coming out. When you go into a colonoscopy, they put you on like anesthesia. I was coming out of the anesthesia, and I remember looking at this nurse next to me, and I'm looking at her because I'm still kind of loopy, and I'm like, oh, you're so beautiful. Like that. And she's like, you're so beautiful too. And she hugs me and she squeezes me tight. And she whispers in my ear, and I'll never forget. And she whispers in my ear, and she was like, you're gonna be okay. And I'm like, okay. And she's like, do not let them let you leave this hospital without removing that thing outside of you. I'm like, what is she talking about?
And that was a nurse that told you?
There was a nurse that told me. She hugged me like she was working in that where you do the colonoscopy floor. And she hugged me and she held me and she was like, do not let them let you leave without them removing that inside of you. At that point, I didn't know what she was talking about. She was like, did somebody come and talk to you? I said, no. She was like, okay, I'm going to get your paperwork, but you're going to be okay. I'm like, okay. Doctor comes in, all medical science, all medical verbiage she was saying. I don't know what this lady was telling me. She comes to me, the same lady I saw that came in my room that midnight. I see her in my face again. And she's like, we did see something on your colonoscopy. We don't know if it's benign or malignant. I'm like, what is this talking about, benign, malignant? What are these big words, this lady? Because at this point, I'm like, everything I knew, I didn't know nothing at that point. So she's like, yeah, we don't know if it's benign or malignant. We couldn't even finish the colonoscopy because whatever that mass that was on your colon was so big, we couldn't go around to look at your full colon. And she said, well, yeah, we don't know if it's benign or malignant. I'm like, this lady again, benign, malignant. What is benign, malignant? What is she saying? It's not when I came to myself. I'm like, benign means no cancer. Malignant means cancer.
Wow.
I'm like, okay. But still not. I'm like, man, I don't know what this lady's talking about. That's not going to be that for me. Go back to my room. The next day, doctor comes in, a whole team of people come in, and they're like, yeah, we're going to have to do emergency surgery on you. like I told you, everything was happening. I'm like, emergency surgery. She was like, yeah, because of your tumor, we have to take it to the tumor board to decide what we're gonna do, the plan of action, but we have to move quickly. I'm like, okay. They leave. A couple of hours later, the guy, one of the doctors from the team comes in, and he's like, okay, we're trying to decide what to do with you. We're probably gonna put a stent in. It's like a little instrument thing they put in to, she was like, we're gonna put a stent to open your colon that you can get some relief so everything could come out and give you some medication and send you home. But I remember what that nurse told me. Do not let them let you leave without removing that tumor. I said, no, I'm not leaving. I said, I don't want this inside of me. I'm not leaving until you guys take it out. So I just felt like it was God like placing this lady on my path, because had she not said that to me, I probably would have went with what they said. Like, okay, put a stent in. All right, let me go home. I want to be with my baby anyway. I want to be home. I don't want to be in this hospital. I said, no, I don't want to leave. I'm not leaving until you guys take this. I'm like, I don't want y'all. I'm not leaving. And he was like, okay, I need to go back to the team. They go back to the team. They go back to the tumor board. The doctor one of the top doctors, thank you, Lord, one of the top doctors became my surgeon. He came in and spoke to me. He was like, all right, Carmel. And when he came in and spoke to me, they had already picked up my daughter. And like, my family was in the room, my mom, my dad, my daughter was in the room. And he walks in and he looks at my daughter and he starts talking to her and he's like, how old are you? And she's like, I'm 6. And she was like, oh, I have a 6-year-old too. And I felt like it was like this connection, like you're gonna be good, like I got you. It was like this, like, you're gonna come back to your kid, like I got you. Like I just felt that with this surgeon. And he was all right, so here's the game plan. Like, we went to the tumor board, we're gonna operate on you. I can't guarantee you won't have an ostomy bag. An ostomy bag is literally a bag that you poop out of.
Right, after the surgery?
She was like, yeah, he was like, I won't know if you're gonna have one until I go in to do the surgery. And I'm praying, I'm like, please, I do not want to. Like, I'm already dealing with this, and then to have an ostomy and to be looking at my poop. And no offense to anybody who has an ostomy bag, but I just mentally, in my mind, surgery, poop, like, it would have did something to me mentally.
But that bag, do you keep that bag forever?
You keep it. Some people, it's not reversible. Some people, they have it forever. Some people, you can go back after they give it to you. It's temporary. They give you for a couple of months. They can reverse it. Like, you have to go back and have a surgery for them to reverse it again. Wow. I didn't want to go through all of that. I'm like, Lord, I start praying. I'm like, Lord, I do not want this ostomy bag. I don't want this stent. So everything I had, like, I was like telling the Lord, like, for me, it happened at that particular time. The next day, went back for more tests, more scans. The doctor met me in the CT area. She was like, yeah, Carmel, first thing in the morning, 8 o'clock, we're operating. I'm like, okay. So the next morning, they come and get me. But then there were this back and forth, like, we don't know if we're gonna have surgery, we don't. I'm like, okay, whatever. Because at that time, I felt like God gave me this, like, I wasn't afraid. I wasn't scared. Like, I don't know if and I thank God that they did not tell me the diagnosis beforehand, because I feel like if they had told me that it was cancer before, it would have affected my whole recovery. It would have affected my mind. That I felt like it would have affected my recovery. I didn't get the diagnosis until the 14th day of me leaving the hospital. I was in the hospital for 14 days after that surgery. So anyway, I'm skipping parts, but they come and pick me up the next morning for the surgery. And I'm like, no one knows I'm going to surgery. Like, my family doesn't know. I'm like, I need to call my mom. So you can't take anything. So they're like, yeah, we gotta go. It's like stuff you see in a movie where they come and they will you in. Like, they're like, we gotta go. So they come and get me. So I get to the OR where they prep you for surgery. I'm like, man, please, I need to call somebody. I need to call my mom. I need somebody. Because at that time, that's when I first got scared. Because I'm like, you go into surgery, you don't know if you're coming back out. In my mind, I'm like scared. I'm like, please, can I use your phone? Because I didn't have my phone. I said, can I just call my mom? So I remember calling my mom, and I said, Mom, can you pray for me? I said, they're taking me into surgery right now. I just need somebody to pray for me. She prayed for me, and I felt calm. Like, when she prayed for me, I just felt this calmness over me, like, you're good. They will me in. I look at the time. I remember laying, I look at the time. It's 9 o'clock. I didn't get out of surgery till 5 in the afternoon. So they, like I said, they went in, and they were trying to do a laparoscopic. Laparoscopics where they put little incisions into your stomach, and they try to take out the mass through the robotics, through that. He said there was no guarantee they could do that for me. They tried to do it laparoscopic and they couldn't because the mass was that big. So they had to literally cut me open to remove the mass. I get out of surgery, I'm in recovery. I remember waking up and I just remember looking to see if I have an ostomy bag. And I remember as I'm looking, the doctor comes and he's like, everything went well and you don't have an ostomy bag. So I said, thank you, Jesus. I said, thank you, Lord.
Before you go into that part,
Yeah.
did you ever make your GI appointment?
I remember they scheduled it for me to go to do it in July. I missed that appointment. So
Yes.
I ended up rescheduling it for September.
Correct.
September, before that appointment, I admitted myself to the ER.
So you didn't get a chance
I
to
never
make it?
made it because it was later.
Right.
So when I admitted myself, it was weeks before my actual appointment with the GI team.
Okay.
At that point, I went in. Yeah, I think I missed that appointment too. Right? Because I'm like still having a pain. So in October is when I finally was like, I'm admitting myself, and everything happened. The
reason I'm asking, do you believe in the back of your mind? Do you believe that they would have caught this if you went to it?
And that's where like there was a lot of guilt for me that I had to forgive myself, because I felt like, man, had I paid attention earlier in the year, this was like, we're early in the year, summer.
Right.
I'm dealing with this in the fall. I'm like, man, if I had only, they would have caught it early. Maybe it would not have been stage 3. Maybe it would have been 2. I don't know. But I felt like if I was more proactive, and that's why now I'm just like, at first I didn't want to share my story, Like when God told me to reach out to you, I was like, God, I don't want to share my story. Like I felt so much shame, for having that cancer. Like I felt so much shame, and I felt like that guilt, like had I done that, maybe they would have caught it. Maybe it would have been all of this, where I had to learn how to walk again, hospital for 14 days,
right.
Physical therapy and all these things, yeah. So there was a guilt.
Those doctors and nurses who help you, do you still see them at work?
Well, there were 2 particular nurses that were on my team that like came to help me. Like they were like my colleagues. They came in, they were like, no, we're doing your labs. Like they were really like, let's go. Like this is one of our team. Like we got you.
Right.
So I'm so appreciative of them too. But they work in different floors. I couldn't tell you who these people on my team. I mean, if I see them, because most of my specialists were from UM.
Okay.
Even though my surgery was at Jackson, most of my specialists were UM physicians. So I see my doctors, but I don't remember those nurses. But those nurses played such an integral role in the CNAs and like just the whole team in my recovery, where I couldn't take my bath, I couldn't take care of, I could not walk. They were cleaning me. I couldn't move. Like I became the patient. I was a nurse that became the patient,
right.
And you see it from a different perspective as a patient being taken care of,
That was my next question for you. Did that have any impact to how you see nursing now?
Oh, I do. It's like it gives me more compassion.
Wow. Okay.
Not just for my patients, for colleagues, because nurses work hard, LPNs work hard, CNAs work hard. Doctors work hard too, but they come in, they're not cleaning the poop. They're not coming, they're like, the nurses are your psychologists, they're your nutritionists, they're your everything during that time. All my interaction was with the nurse, like they're your pharmacists, they're everything. Like I'm breaking down crying, they're holding my hand, consoling me like you're gonna be okay, praying for me. You understand?
Right.
It's a different, like I would do that for my patients, right? Because I would pray for my patients, I would hug my patients. But now it's just more now for me. Like it's like I see nursing from a different perspective of care that I give my patients now. It's more empathetic, it's more compassion, because you never know what this person is dealing with, what diagnosis they're gonna give them, what news. I was not expecting to get a news of cancer. So you have to have, and I believe that's why God took me from clinical laboratory. I was behind the scenes working in a microscope, in my lab coat, looking. My patients were my test tubes, and God was like, no, I need you to go into nursing. I'm like, no, I don't want to do that. I'm good here.
Right.
God is like, no, I need you to go there because I need you to touch my people. Like, I need you to get down. I need you to touch the homeless. I need you to get to them. That's who I love. I love them. I love you, but I love them more. I need you to touch them in a way that they see my glory, that they see my light. That's why God put me in nursing.
Carmel, you're a clinical scientist,
Yeah.
so you had a chance to see behind the microscope.
Yes.
And now you are in the medical field. Based on your research and what you understand about colon cancer, what causes that?
Different factors. Everybody's different. You can go from being healthy, like you guys look athletic, like you're fit, you probably eat well. And there's people that's diagnosed with stage 4, terminal. They eat well, they work out. I know those cases of young people, 25, 26, 30, who are getting diagnosed. Like, listen, I eat well. That wasn't my case. I ate bad. Like, my friends know I like to eat, okay? Like, I love food. Like, I will eat. Like, I wasn't nutritionally taking care of myself. Those are factors. Not getting more fiber, vegetables. I ate that, but I didn't eat it like that enough to really, that fiber to help your colon to release all that stuff out. I wasn't eating that. I wasn't as active. Yes, I was walking the ED. I had my steps in, but I wasn't physically lifting weights. I wasn't weightlifting. I wasn't working out like I should. And God was been telling me, like, Carmel, you need to come on, like, because God talks to you. Like, you know how God talks to you. So God was talking to me like, okay, listen, I know you're tired. You need to go walk. You need to go work out. And I'm like, no, I'm tired. I don't want to. All I want to do is sleep. You need to change the way you eating. I'm like, but I want to eat this fried chicken.
Right.
You know what I mean? I want to eat this. I don't want to eat no vegetables. Especially when nursing, like everything is so, like you try to find something to eat. But that's not an excuse. You can bring your food. You could bring some vegetables. You could bring your salad. So that's not an excuse for you to eat unhealthy. Stress. I was under a lot of stress. Stress is another trigger. Stress causes a lot of diseases, autoimmune disease, stress. I was under a lot of stress. Working in the emergency room as a new grad, I know nothing about nursing. I could tell you about clinical, I could tell you about medical technology. I could tell you all that. Right. I could tell you about your blood type. I could tell you about antibodies. I could tell you about those things. But nursing, working with patients close and touching them, I'm not good with that. 30 who are getting died. Like, listen, I eat well. That wasn't my case. I ate bad. Like, my friends know I like to eat. Okay? Like, I love food. Like, I will eat. Like, I wasn't nutritionally taking care of myself. Those are factors. Not getting more fiber, vegetables. I ate that, but I didn't eat it like that enough to really, that fiber to help your colon to release all that stuff out. I wasn't eating that. I wasn't as active. Yes, I was walking the ED. I had my steps in, but I wasn't physically lifting weights. I wasn't weightlifting. I wasn't working out like I should. And God was been telling me, like, Carmel, you need to come on, like, because God talks to you. Like, you know how God talks to you. So God was talking to me like, okay, listen, I know you're tired. You need to go walk. You need to go work out. And I'm like, no, I'm tired. I don't want to. All I want to do is sleep. You need to change the way you eating. I'm like, but I want to eat this fried chicken.
Right.
You know what I mean? I want to eat this. I don't want to eat no vegetables. Especially when nursing, like everything is so, like you try to find something to eat. But that's not an excuse. You could bring your food. You could bring some vegetables. You could bring your salad. So that's not an excuse for you to eat unhealthy. Stress. I was under a lot of stress. Stress is another trigger. Stress causes a lot of diseases, autoimmune disease, stress. I was under a lot of stress. Working in the emergency room as a new grad, I know nothing about nursing. I could tell you about clinical, I could tell you about medical technology. I could tell you all that. Right. I could tell you about your blood type. I could tell you about antibodies. I could tell you about those things. But nursing, working with patients close and touching them, I'm not good with that. So, I lost my train of thought. What am I talking about?
But one thing I was going to say is, so it's okay. It's a lot going on.
It's a lot going on.
It's a lot going on. Walk us back, day 14, when you woke up.
Oh, man.
All right.
Well, day 14, I was already awake.
You was already awake.
Day 14 is when they never, from the time I was there, gave me the diagnosis. I never knew it was cancer. I never knew nothing. Normally, they're supposed to give it to you. Like, they usually know right away. But I felt like...
Do you think they knew?
They knew. They knew but for some reason, nobody ever told me. Because I would look at my report, I would see adenocarcinoma. Adenocarcinoma is cancer. So I would read my chart. I'm like, I see that, but no one had ever told me that.
But one thing you mentioned, you said that had they had mentioned it to you before your recovery, maybe your body would have taken it differently.
I agree, yeah.
Do you also believe that's why you probably didn't get your second GI appointment?
Yeah.
You think your body would have reacted differently?
I don't know, because I didn't go through that. So, like, I felt like everything happened when it was supposed to happen. Why? Because oftentimes when you get a GI appointment, they schedule your colonoscopy, you don't go into surgery right away. My case, I went to surgery right away to remove it.
Correct.
So it takes time for them. Like, if I would have went in just regular, like, okay, got the appointment, okay, let's schedule your colonoscopy. Let's wait a couple days. Okay, we got the report. Okay, you see how much time is going before you get to that surgery?
Right.
Mine was instantaneous. Like, in 2 days, 3 days, I already had surgery to take that tumor out of me, to take that cancer out.
Right. This is where I think he's alluding to.
What is he alluding to?
Had you have that information ahead of time, right? Your body and you probably would have handled that completely different, as opposed to while you're there, you get the information
after the surgery.
After the surgery, and you were lucky enough to be there, right? And they took care of everything there. Because had you, if you don't mind me asking, where was that GI appointment scheduled for? Where was it at? Was it at Jackson or another hospital?
No, because my healthcare team, because I have their insurance, my team is there. So all my appointments are Jackson doctors.
Okay.
Yeah. Okay. So it's nowhere else outside of. They're all there.
Okay. So because the reason why I'm asking is if it was off-site, you probably would have you were diagnosed off-site, right? And you probably wouldn't even have time to make it to the hospital.
Well, let me try to understand. Okay, so I felt like if I would have known, I would have been devastated.
Correct.
That's what I was saying.
I would have been devastated. It would have been a different outcome.
Way different.
Way different outcome mentally. I would not probably be able to work. Like, because you're still waiting, because when you get, it's not immediately you're having surgery. So when they give you the report, you're waiting. So you're still waiting for them to call you with your colonoscopy results. You're okay, yeah, we saw something, we saw a mass, we don't know, we gotta wait for the pathology. Now I gotta wait for the pathology report. Mm-hmm. So you understand? So I'm waiting for the colonoscopy report. Now I'm waiting for pathology. Time is passing, that tumor is growing in your body.
Correct.
So I felt like had I known, if I did go to that appointment in September, it would have done something mentally to me that I just know what I went through during the course. So I know if I would have known ahead of time, it would have it would have been bad for me. I feel like mentally it would have been bad.
So the reason why, because I remember, I don't know if it was, I think it was prior to this, right? You were talking about as far as how our steps are preordained, right? As far as how God walks our steps before we even get in a certain situation. Yes. If God knows you personally and he knows your relationship with him, is it possible that, hey, he foresee, okay, this is something that you have, now you're placed in the nursing field, and if I give you this news ahead of time, your body's not going to be able to handle it.
My mind I would not be able to help. He knows us. He knows what we can carry and what we can handle. If they would have told me that before the surgery or everything, I would be numb. I would not be able to function. Hence why after 14 days in the hospital, the last day of them releasing me is when they gave me the diagnosis. I hear people, I'm like, yeah, I got my pathology report in a week. I got my pathology report I'm like, doggone, 14 days? Mm-hmm. I still ain't get my pathology report. I don't know what's going on, what's happening. But I thank God for that because it helped me. I'm back in school. I'm in a hospital working. I'm getting my bachelor's in nursing, right? I'm online. So I'm in the hospital. I'm doing mommy, recovering. Mm-hmm. I'm doing work online with my laptop, and stuff like that. So had they told me that early, I would not be able to function and do nothing. I would just be thinking about that diagnosis. Right.
Would you say at this time, is it possible to say that your cancer is benign? Or
the cancer wasn't benign. The cancer was malignant. It was actually cancer. Okay, so when I got the pathology report and she delivered the news, she was like, yeah, it's cancer.
So are you now free of that?
So where I am now, when they removed the tumor, it was cancer. And because of the staging, it's stage 3, meaning that it went into my lymph nodes. Lymph nodes, there's little, where it travels and now can go outside your body, into your liver, your lung. So that's why I'm not 4, is because it didn't travel to my liver. It didn't travel. When you're stage 4, it travels to distant organs, like your lung, your pancreas, your gallbladder, your liver, your kidneys. Then you're stage 4, because now we don't just have it in your colon, we got it in your liver. Right. So for me, it was 3. So it just went into my lymph nodes. So they took the tumor out. I had to go through chemo, because although we took what we could see, there may be microscopic cells, cancer cells that we cannot see. So that's why we got to give you the chemo. You don't have to take it. It was a decision I made to do it, because I did chemo and I did holistic as well. So I was doing chemo, but I was doing my research and other stuff to offset the chemo toxicity that I was, receiving. I had neuropathy. I couldn't use my hands. My hands would cramp up. I couldn't, that bottle cap right there, I couldn't open the bottle cap. I couldn't open the shower. I would have to wear gloves. My feet would burn. Wow. When I touched the ground. So just those cells, I couldn't eat. I lost more weight. People are like, oh, you don't look like what you've been through. Yes, the heck I did. I looked like it when I was going through chemo. I look like this now because I'm not under treatment. When you're on treatment, it's different. Some people, it affects them differently. Me, it affected me really bad. I couldn't even smell water. I could smell water, and it made me throw up. Just that bottle would take me 5-6 days just to drink that. Oh, wow. I couldn't eat anything. I was nauseous. I was fatigued. So chemo, I felt like the surgery was a cakewalk compared to chemo for me. I would cry through it the whole time. I decided not to get a port. Some people get a port in. The port in's where they don't have to use your veins. They use my veins. Now, you can't see it now, but it was bruised because my veins were bruised up because I was getting the chemo through my veins instead of the port. So to answer your question where I am now, I'm not on treatment. My last treatment was a couple of weeks ago. Mm-hmm. So I'm waiting for them to tell you you're technically cancer-free medically or no evidence of disease. It's called NED. Is that you need 3 negatives. For me, it's called a Natera test. A Natera test, it basically detects cancer cells in your body. So they send that out. I still have not gotten my results yet. So you have to get 3 negatives for them to say, okay, you're good. You're technically in remission where you don't have cancer in your body. There's no cancer anywhere. Not to say it can't come back. It ain't coming back for me.
Right.
So right now, I'm just waiting on those results to tell me, like, yeah, you're cancer free. I believe that I am. But medically, for them to say it on record, I need those results to be negative. So right now, I'm now on active treatment. I'm just waiting for those results.
How long after day 14, when you got clearance, did you go into chemo?
So after the surgery, like I couldn't walk, like I was still like, usually they want to start chemo 2 to 3 weeks after surgery.
Okay.
So I started chemo 3 weeks after my surgery. Okay. So I started chemo, I got out of the hospital in November. I started chemo the day after my birthday, December 2nd.
Oh.
Yeah.
You said you had to learn how to walk again. Was that right after surgery or after?
This was after surgery because they want you to walk. For some reason, I don't know what happened, I could not walk. So I had to have physical therapy come to help me to walk with me, to do physical therapy moves with me to help me to walk. So I had to do that for a couple of weeks. Yeah, so I had to learn how to walk again.
What did your support system look like?
Oh my God, amazing. I thank God for my family, especially my mom, my dad, like the people that, are, because I didn't share it with everybody at that time because I was still processing it in my head like, yo, like, you got cancer. Like, they saying you have cancer. Like, I could not, in my mind, like, still now some days I'll look back, like, I'll just be sitting like, did they just really say you have cancer? Like, it's just like, it's a mental thing in my mind because it's only been 5 months. So for me, it's like, I still can't believe it. I still cannot believe it. My support system was amazing. And I would always feel for them because I know hearing that news wasn't easy. I knew from my mom hearing, Mommy, I'm going into surgery right now. Pray. Like, I know as a parent how I would feel for my kid. So I could understand from her standpoint. Like, my mom, she never cried in front of me. She would always encourage me. She would always be like, Upage, you don't have it. You don't have it. Don't even think you have it. Like, she would always be that courage, like encouraging me when I would break down. I'll be crying and I'll be like, I can't, like, she would always be that encouraging force for me. My dad, like, we would pray. Like, it really, like, post the diagnosis, it brought my family together, to be honest with you. My daughter prays more at 6. She knows how to recite Psalms 23. Like, she prays. She, like, it brought us spiritually closer. I'm not going to lie to you. My mom didn't cry in front of me until 2 weeks ago when we were sitting. And I was like, Mom, like, how did this affect you? Because I always want to know, like, my brother, like, I want to know how this impacted you. I want to know how it impacts caregivers because they go through so much. Caring for somebody with terminal disease or cancer, it's not easy to care for them, especially if they have certain, like, I couldn't walk. Like, my mom had to do everything for my daughter,
What stage were you at?
Stage 3, right before 4. Then that's it.
Let's say, for example, Chadwick, right? He had money, he had resources, right? And it's unfortunate he's not with us anymore. Great actor, right? Why do you think you were able to beat that and is still alive today?
Beat it? From a medical standpoint, I don't know if I beat it.
Okay.
Right? I don't know how long Chadwick Boseman was dealing with that cancer, right? The thing about something like that is that it can come back. That's the issue. Like, they give you the chemo and these type of treatments so it doesn't come back. Right, to kill everything. Okay. That's the whole point of chemo, is to kill good and bad cells. We attacking everything. We going to war.
Right.
So I don't know, and that's why for me it was hard because I would compare my story to somebody else's. I'm like, God, I would watch people's story. Like, I became addicted to watching people's stories. Like, I would watch them, I would follow them, and then if I found out they passed away, it would hurt me so badly.
But that's why I'm asking, why
so
were you...
I don't know. It's your body, it's your makeup, it's your chemistry. I don't know. And then there's people that have survivor's remorse where they feel bad that they even survived and somebody else died. I can't tell you why. I can't tell you why he passed away. I can't tell you why the guy from Dawson Creek died. I can't tell you why they died and people live 20, 25 years after. I don't know. I know for myself what God told me.
Yes.
I know for myself because I have purpose. That's the only reason you're here. We're not here because you're doing no, you're here because you have purpose.
Correct.
That's the only reason why I'm alive. And even then I question it. I'm like, God, like, how do I know I'm going to make it through? I don't know. Only God can determine that. Like, you cannot determine when you leave here. So when you see your mortality, like, I was faced with my mortality, I always used to be afraid to die. Like, I was, even as a believer, like, we know, okay, we're going to see the Father. But deep down inside, you're afraid.
Of course.
You're scared because you don't know. We hear it, but you don't know what's on the other side. I don't know until you get there. So for me, there was, even as a believer, I was afraid. I'm like, God, I don't know if I'm going to make it to heaven. I don't know if I'm going to hell. I don't know. Like, it was this, when you're faced with death in front of you, there's this like, I'm not afraid because you're facing death. Like when it talks, I've walked through the valley of the shadow of death. I was walking death. And I was facing it, and I'm like, I don't know if I don't know. Every day I wake up, like before, we're always moving. We grab our stuff, we're always busy. I don't do that anymore. Like I walk out, I'm like, I'm just staring at the wind. Like you like have this, like every minute, every second matters.
Right.
So I don't know why Chadwick passed. It could be different reasons. I don't know. I don't know why the guy from Dawson Street passed, and then somebody else who's had terminal cancer or living 25 years or 20 years.
After the surgery, right? It's a very tough experience. You just experienced something you've never been through before. Of course, you had a child, right? Did at any point, like while you sitting there for 14 days in the hospital, mentally, how were you?
Mentally,
did you feel
in my mind, mentally, I was just recovering from surgery because remember, I didn't know it was that.
Okay.
So mentally, I was just physically in pain. I was hurting. So my goal was just to get better. Like my goal was just, okay, Carmel, because I couldn't eat anything. I had an NG tube where they put it in your, to decompress your stomach, all that waste. They have to pump it out, and it's from through your nose.
Right.
So I couldn't eat anything. So mentally, it was just about, I just want to get better. I don't want to feel pain no more. I just want to go home. I don't want to be in this hospital no more. Because like I told you, I didn't know it was that until the 14th day of me leaving. So for me, it was just survival. It was just like recovering. Like, okay, Carmel, you got to walk. So I would force myself to try to walk because I couldn't walk. So if I had to walk, they would put a chair in front of me and I would have to push it to walk. Or they would hold me and I would have to hold my, where they have all your medication. I forgot what it's called. And they will walk with me. So my thing was just survival. Like, I just wanted to get out of here,
How did you end up in Georgia, and how was Georgia?
How we skip from that to that? How did I end up in Georgia?
Yes.
Okay.
Because I know you graduated in 01.
I graduated in 01,
right.
And I went to the University of South Florida.
Yes.
Go Bulls.
Wow.
I went to the University of South Florida. And I went, I was a pre-med major. I didn't want to go to medical school no more. I wanted to start a family. I'm like, if I go to medical school, that's another couple of more years. I didn't want to do that. So I was like, okay, I love science. So I went into biomedical science. So I went into more laboratory work. And I was doing that. I was working in a hospital in the laboratory department. And in 2012, I moved back to Miami. So I was in Tampa for over 10 years, moved back to Miami. In 2012, I'm in the hospital. I'm like, I don't want to do this no more. Like, I've always been a creative. Got into makeup, really love makeup. Started my makeup business, Mel J Makeup. Went to Beauty Schools of America. Got my, certificate in that. And I just remember, I'm like, God was like, yeah, I need you to move to Atlanta. Move to Atlanta? For what? Like, he was like, yeah, I need you to quit your job.
Right.
And I need you to move to Atlanta in 3 months. You got a 3-month window to decide if you're leaving or you're not. At that time, my mom was diagnosed with lupus. So I'm like, my mom just got diagnosed with lupus. And you want me to leave her now and move to Atlanta? But for me, I was sold out for God. I'm like, whatever you want me to do, God, I'm doing it. Like, if you want me to move, even though my heart was breaking because of my mom and her being diagnosed with an autoimmune disease.
Right.
I love my mom, but I love God more. So I was like, all right, God, I'm leaving. So in 3 months, I quit my job. In 3 months, I left and I moved to Atlanta because I thought I was going to be this big-time makeup artist, working on Love and Hip Hop, working for Tyler Perry, and it didn't happen that way. Right? Because, we have these big dreams, but everything is divine. Everything, me going to Atlanta, I met my child's father, married, and I'm blessed to have my daughter through that process.
Of course.
You know what I mean? So that's how I ended up in Atlanta. God told me to quit my job and move. And I started working on, what made me, like different production, stuff like that. Started working, doing my makeup.
So how is your business like now? How is your business doing?
Well, right now, when everything, like I had in 2024, right after I graduated, my daughter had really bad eczema, like really bad skin condition. And we would take her to the doctor in and out of the hospital, because she would have really bad eczema, itching, da-da-da. And I remember my mom was like, yeah, I'm from savon pour lui. Like, I made a soap for her. I made a soap for her in her garden. Like, she has like aloes, carrot. So God gave her that download of how to make this soap. That's how Savon La Caille started. So she used it on my daughter. I'm like, oh my God, this smells so good. She used it on my daughter, and I started slowly seeing it, started going. I'm like, oh wow. And God was like, yeah, I'm gonna give you the blueprint of how to structure this business. That's how Savon Lakai started.
Wow.
So through my mom. Like she's really like the, you know, I'm just kind of like helping her,
the face of it.
face, you know. But the ingredients and everything is homemade. Like they're all natural products. And that's what helped me through my journey because I couldn't smell everything. So it had to be natural soap. Like I couldn't, you know, fragrance, I couldn't use that. So that's soap. So that's how Savon Lakai happened in 2024. I started Savon Lakai. When everything happened, I couldn't, like, I remember you invited me to your, you know, you were having an event for your dad.
Yes.
And you was like, you know, I want you to come out, you know, to promote your business. And I'm like, yeah, I'm coming. But I was dealing with that. You had no idea. And I'm like, yeah, I'm coming. I spoke to some people from your team.
Yeah.
And I'm like, yeah, I'm coming. And then everything happened. And I'm like, man, I apologize. I'm so sorry. I couldn't make it, you know. And it just went down, like my business. And then I had started nursing. So I'm going to pick that back up again to, produce more product. And even like I have several businesses. So I have Breathcation, which is a social group for women. That I started that in 2017.
Wow.
And then, so we used to do different events. And shortly after the pandemic, I was a new mom. I love creating social experiences for women, like social events. Like I would create those things. And when I had my daughter, 2022, when did the pandemic happen? 2020? 2020.
Mm-hmm.
I had to stop because I was overwhelmed. I was like, I'm a new mom. I'm doing these social events. I'm tired. I'm going through life and stuff like that. So I stopped Breathcation. But I used to create Mommy and Me events where we would have getaways and stuff like that. So I'm picking that back up again because I feel like that's needed. So yeah, so I have Breathcation, I have Savon Lakai, I have Mel J Makeup. And I work in a clinical lab and I'm an RN.
Wow.
And I'm
how do you do it? Isn't that
you know? But I wear many hats and I love it because, you know, God knows I'm a creative person. I like to create stuff. Like I can't stay in a box. Mm-hmm. I just can't. So that's why I'm like, why you put me in nursing, God? Because you know I'm not staying in nursing for real. I'm not, you know, like I'm gonna take the skills that you know, because eventually I want to live abroad. I want to live overseas. Like I want to open like schools. I want to open hospitals. Like I want to do things.
Facts.
Outside from being in the four walls of like I can't do that.
How do you see life now?
Oh my God, life is a gift. I see life, like I was telling you, like now I'll go in my backyard and just sit for hours looking at the wind blow, looking at birds. Like it's like every moment matters, every moment counts because I realize in a moment my life could have been taken away. I realized in a moment I could have dropped dead and nobody knew what happened to me. But because of God's mercy, like he's like, no, because of purpose. It's mercy, but it's purpose. That's the only reason. Like you have to understand and get it and download it in your mind. The only reason you're alive is not to make money. Yeah, he can give you those gifts. It's to impact. It's to impact and to love. Because the Bible talks about the greatest of all this is to love. It's to love you guys, to love my brothers, my sisters, like brings them back to me. That's the only reason I'm alive. It's nothing. It's not because you're cute. It's not because of nothing. It's not because I'm a nurse. It doesn't matter. So for me now, it's like, God, how can I impact? How can I make a difference? What do you need me to do? So now I'm like, I use my life for purpose now. It's like more purpose. It's not selfish. Because although I was like, yeah, you drive the car, you just, you know, like I'm not moved by material things. Like I'll get them and my friends will tell you, I thought like, I don't care. Like I'll buy it, I don't care. Like I'm not moved. I'll give money, I'll bless people. I'm not moved by material things. So now my life is more like, God, how do I fulfill my purpose here on earth? How do I impact? How do I love? Because once you're gone, you're gone. You can't come back.
Facts.
That's it. So how do you make an impact? How do I impact someone else? I don't care if it's just a word to give you. If God told me, okay, I need to say this to you, that's impact.
Well, I'm going to share a story with you that I had an interesting conversation with the owner of Chef Girl yesterday. Mm-hmm. Speaking about purpose and passion, mm-hmm. right? Hopefully when he sees this, he doesn't get upset at me, but it was an open conversation. Yeah. He says, can you believe that his passion is not cooking? He says his passion is music. He says as much as successful as he is in that business, it's not his passion. Mm-hmm. So then he left. He says, when you discover your passion and your purpose in life, that's when you actually start living. Yes. You see, these are the people who live the best life on earth, but only 10% of those people actually live within their purpose.
I agree with you. Like even for me now, I would have never thought, like for me, I'm like, I want to live in Haiti. Like I know there's people that are leaving, that's going back home, like leaving this, you know, whatever structure. Like I want to position myself where I can work anywhere in the country. Mm-hmm. Like that's why I want to position myself. Like I want to go back. Before I was like, oh, I want to go to Ghana because you know they were giving out, you know, for people if you have lineage in Ghana, they were giving out land and giving you citizenship to go back home. And I'm like, why am I going to Ghana? I have my family's from Haiti. Why am I going to Ghana? Like, why am I not going there to impact there? So for me, in my mind, it was like, I don't want to go to Ghana. Like, I want to go to Haiti. I want to live in a jardin. I want to live in a garden. Like, so like my life, like now, it's like, God, what you want me to do? It's purpose.
Were you born there?
No, my parents were.
Walk us through your childhood as far as finding out where you was born, your upbringing, your environment, schools you attended, and behind all of that, right? My brother called it glamour, behind the glitz and glamour, right? As far as if someone is just stumbling upon you, how would you describe your upbringing, your personality, and who you are?
My upbringing was it wasn't typical, right? It wasn't typical. My mom was an immigrant, right? She had her visa at the time. So although I was born here, like my mom would travel back and forth for business. So although I was born here, most of my time was in Haiti with my mom. So I literally would say I grew up there, right? Because she had land, so she would only be here for a little bit, and then we'll go back.
Of course.
So I remember my time in Haiti. I remember growing up there as a little kid, 2, 3, in that community. When my parents separated or whatever, I ended up living with my dad's family, but my mom was still in Haiti, so we were separated for a long time. And as a kid, like I was my daughter's attached to me, I was very attached to my mom. And so that distance caused me to be in a depression. When you see kids have depression, they can be depressed. I was very depressed because I was without my mom for all those years. And I would always look at them, when is my mom coming back? When is my mom coming back, So when she did finally get, her visa to come back again, it was almost as if like I kind of raised myself in a way because she couldn't stay. So she would have to go. So I was living with relatives and things like that. So I was a very quiet child. I was very introverted. So people will see me and they think I'm this like I'm not. I'm very introverted. I'm very my daughter's more charismatic than me, and that's what I pray for. I want her to be more. So I'm not a social butterfly. People think that when they see me, they won't think that I'm shy. I'm very shy. I don't like this. I don't do. I don't like speaking in front of people. Like if you see my product, I'll put the product out. I won't talk, or you hear a voiceover. I don't like talking in front of people. I really, really don't. But after this, it's like, who are you more afraid of? Them, or are you more concerned about how I see you?
Right.
So now I see myself differently. Now I'm not scared to do this, right? So my upbringing, I went to Gratney Elementary School. I was supposed to go to Thomas Jefferson. My parents ended up moving. That's how I ended up in North Miami Middle, North Miami High School, University of South Florida, and that's how my life.
Now you're on a journey to bring the awareness.
Yeah.
What do you hope to accomplish with your message?
For one, more recently, I was looking for community. Like when I was going through this, I didn't have community. I didn't have anybody I can pick up the phone and call that understood what I was going through. People empathized with me. They felt bad for me. They were praying for me, and that was all. And I loved all of that. But I had nobody I can call I'm having these side effects, or mentally I'm not okay. Mentally, I feel like I don't know if I'm gonna make it through. Like I didn't have that community, so I wanted to create. In a couple of weeks, I want to create that space. So I'm creating a Zoom where people can come in and we can talk, and you have a safe space to anyone dealing with sickness or illness or whatever the case may be, just trauma or whatever. Where you have a safe space to come and talk. So the awareness I don't want anybody to not pay attention to signs. Like me, I was negligent with my signs, although I was going and they were misdiagnosing me, but keep pushing, keep advocating for yourself. You know what I mean? Like I could have been like, okay, I'm gonna wait till Monday. But it was like, no, you gotta go now. Like you need the answers now. So pay attention to this. I don't care if it's an ordinary headache. That ordinary headache could be an aneurysm. Don't think you're being dramatic. You never know what your body's talking to you all the time. You know when something is wrong with your body. So yeah.
So I was just reading some quick stats for our audience. We have about 1.9 million new cases worldwide every year from colon cancer, right? We have 900,000 deaths worldwide annually. It's the third most common cause globally. In the United States alone, we have 147,000 new cases reported from 2022. We have 53,000 deaths reported in 2023. 2025, they estimated about 108,000 cases of colon cancer. Then the expected death annually is about 52,000. And that's something that we don't talk about enough.
We don't talk about it
even here in the U.S.
I wasn't talking about it enough. I didn't know about this. So now, because it knocked on my door, we're not bothered if it doesn't affect you.
Correct.
No one cares. Like, I feel bad. Like with Chadwick Boseman, I felt bad, but my life went on because it didn't knock on my door until it knocked on my door. So that's crazy because right now somebody's getting diagnosed. Right now somebody's having surgery to remove right now somebody's getting a diagnosis of cancer that changes their life, that changes the trajectory of their life forever. I'm forever changed. Like, I don't know the Carmel before this. I don't even know her now. I'm learning her now. Understand? So it's wild to me, like the cases, like it's like the number one cause of death of people under the age of 50. That's scary to me. Like, you know what I mean? Like, there needs to be more talk. Thank God, like, there are people who are working behind the scenes to get more funding. Like, there are people in DC right now, because this is colorectal cancer awareness month. March is that. So there are people in DC right now that are going to, the Capitol to get more funding so we can get more treatment for this.
Is this something that's relatively new? As far as I know, it was. I'm talking about as far as it's always been around. We are aware of it, right? But I'm talking about the amount of death that we've been seeing, I'll say, in the last decade. Is this relatively new?
It's relatively new in the sense that a lot of young people are dying.
From young, yeah, correct.
Yes.
I mean, from the younger community under the age of 50.
Right now, yes. Because it's like, if you look at the news, if you look up colon cancer, it's like, why are young people, colon cancer was an old man's disease.
Correct.
Like 60s, not young people. So now it's like people are bringing the eye to it, like, what is happening? What is in our food system? What is going on that's causing young people to die from this?
That's where I was going to go, because if it's something that's trending now, I was going to ask, is it our food system? Is it dieting? What impact is actually driving that force? You
got to understand, oftentimes, even if they tell you bacon is a level 1 carcinogen, turkey bacon is a level 1 carcinogen, but they still put it on the shelf for y'all to eat it, and we still gonna eat it. Right. Knowing that it's the number 1, it's a cancer-causing agent. Bread, the stuff that they put in your bread, is stuff they make tires with. We still gonna eat it.
Right.
You see what I'm saying? The pesticides are at a higher level. We're not gonna clean up. Like, I clean my fruit. Like, I use special to clean my stuff. I boil my water and I clean my vegetables that way. Right? I'm not just gonna wipe them off. No, because that pesticide is in there and it's going into your body. Okay? So yeah, it's the food system. It's the air. It's like, yeah. It's a host of things. But the sad part is there are young people who are healthy, like I was telling you earlier, who are healthy, who work out and still get diagnosed stage 4 at 25.
Carmel, this is your opportunity. Your audience is right there.
Okay.
The message that you have, the words that you like to share, the words of encouragement, the awareness that you would like to spread, your audience is looking at you. What would you like to say to them?
For one, do not pay attention to the signs. Whatever, like, you're feeling, whether it's abdominal pain, headache, whatever, like, pay attention to your body, because I wasn't doing that. I didn't do that. But I forgive myself for that, because here we are now, I'm alive, right? So that's one thing I want to bring is the awareness, because there are people dealing with breast cancer, all type of stuff. But my thing is pay attention to the signs. You feel a lump, get it checked out. You feel something, get it checked out. You feel a headache, a severe headache, and it could be something, get it checked out. Do not dismiss your signs and your symptoms. And words of encouragement, you're not alone. There's a wealth of resources to help you cope. For me, I needed everything. Like, I'm back in therapy. Like, yes, as a believer, yes, I go to church, I read my Bible, I listen to worship, but I needed everything around me, because at some point, I was so discouraged in my faith. I wanted to walk away. I was like, I don't want to do this. This is too hard. I want to walk away from this. I don't want to do this. I don't care. Yeah, Jesus, yeah, I don't want to do this. But it was the prayers of those that were holding me up when I didn't have the strength to pray for myself, and God still was holding my hand through the whole process. So even in that, get resources around you. Whatever you need, get that support. Like, you can't go through this alone. It's not isolated. You need community and you need support. Get that support around you. I will also say research. Like, for me, like I said, I didn't have community, so I wanted to create community. You don't have community, create that for someone. I wanted to create that for someone because I didn't have anybody I can call and that were going through this. Yes, I have friends and family, but not someone going through a colon cancer diagnosis or a breast cancer. Like, I didn't have that. So I just want to encourage you that you're not alone, that there are resources. Hopefully they'll tag, like, if you need, have any questions, you can follow me on social media, Breathcation. I'm sure they'll drop the link. Like I said, in a couple of weeks, I'm starting a support group for people who are dealing with a diagnosis or illness or anything. Like, I'm starting a Zoom where you can freely talk and have support. Like, you don't have to go through it alone. And that's what I want to leave with.
Carmel, thank you so much.
You're welcome.
Thank you, Carmel. By the way, I didn't get a chance to ask, how's your mom doing?
She's good.
She's good?
She's good. Thank you.
You're welcome. And at this time, we would like to thank each and every one of our sponsors: AZ Formalwear, Chick-fil-A of Miami Shores, Comprehensive Health Center, Gourmet Gatherings by Chef Princess E. And most definitely, we would like to thank you, all of our viewers and listeners, for tuning in and supporting us. This could not happen without you. Please remember to like, comment, share, subscribe, and spread the awareness. Thank you.